You are watching a normal game. A ball gets hit. Before it even lands, the umpire is pointing at the batter, yelling something that sounds like he's calling a foul on himself. The crowd groans. The broadcast cuts to a graphic nobody asked for, and you're sitting there thinking the exact same thing every casual fan thinks the first time this happens. Did he just make that up? Baseball does this to you constantly. It hands you a call that looks like the umpire is improvising, offers zero explanation, and moves on like you were supposed to be born understanding it. Here's the thing nobody tells you in that moment. That rule you just watched, the one that feels like it was invented to ruin your team's afternoon, it was almost certainly invented to stop a specific ugly exploit that used to wreck the sport before the rule existed. Baseball doesn't really write dumb rules, it writes patches. Somebody found a way to break the game, badly enough that the league had no choice but to legislate it out of existence, and what's left on the books looks insane only because you never saw the crime it was written to stop. 6 of them coming up, and I'll show you exactly what each one is quietly covering for. Number 1. Ghost Runner. Start with the one that makes people the angriest. Extra innings begin, and before a single pitch is thrown, there's already a runner standing on second base. He didn't walk there. He didn't earn it. He just appears, like the game spotted him a 390 feet because it felt like it. If you've ever had a bet riding on a low-scoring extra innings game, you know exactly the kind of rage this produces. Here's what people miss about it. This rule isn't about excitement. It's about your bullpen surviving the week. Before this rule existed, a single marathon game could empty an entire pitching staff. Every reliever used, the only man left being some backup infielder lobbing 50-mile-an-hour batting practice just to end the inning. And that's not a one-game problem. A pitching staff that gets shredded on a Tuesday is still compromised on Friday. The Ghost Runner isn't there to manufacture a walk-off. It's there to make sure marathon games actually resolve before they cost a team its entire week of healthy arms. Notice the league only uses it in the regular season, where health matters more than purity, and turns it off completely in the postseason, where outcomes matter more than anything. That's not an accident. That's the league telling you exactly what trade-off it made and when. Is it the cleanest rule in the book? No. I'll be the first to admit a free runner conjured out of nothing is a strange thing to build a winning run on, but strange and pointless aren't the same category, and this one has a real bill it's paying. Number 2. The 3-batter minimum. Here's a fun one. People will tell you this rule fixed baseball's pace problem. It didn't really. Analysts ran the numbers on the season before it existed, and removing every single mid-inning pitcher change it would have blocked saved about 30 seconds per game. Not 30 minutes. 30 seconds. The pitch clock did the heavy lifting on pace years later, so forget the pace argument entirely. The real reason this rule exists is that it killed a specific job. The lefty specialist who'd jog in from the bullpen, face one batter, and jog right back to the dugout. Multiply that by 4 pitching changes in a single tense inning, and you get 4 mound visits, 4 warm-up tosses, and a half inning that takes longer to play than to describe. The rule didn't erase strategy completely. A manager can still bring in a tough lefty matchup, he just has to commit to leaving him out there for 3 hitters or the rest of the inning, win or lose. That's the whole mechanism. You can still build the chess match, you just can't build it out of a revolving door. The actual time saved is small. The amount of dead air it removed from the most boring possible version of a baseball broadcast is not small. Sometimes a rule isn't there to fix the clock, it's there to fix the experience of watching the clock. Number 3. The Infield Fly Rule. This is the one that breaks new fans completely. Runners on first and second, fewer than 2 outs. The batter pops one straight into the air, and the umpire calls him out before the ball has even landed. Nobody caught anything. Doesn't matter, he's out. Go back to 1895 and you'll find the actual crime this was written to stop. Infielders figured out that an easy pop-up, left on purpose to drop, turns into a guaranteed double play. The runners can't take off because if the ball gets caught, they're dead the second they leave the bag, so they freeze. The infielder lets the ball hit the grass, scoops it, and starts a double play on a ball that traveled maybe 30 feet in the air. That's not a defensive highlight. That's a defense farming free outs by deliberately failing at the easiest task in the sport. The fix doesn't punish the fielder for catching the ball. It removes the incentive to drop it in the first place. The batter is out the instant the umpire judges the ball catchable, caught or not, which means there's nothing left to gain by letting it bounce. The runners get their dilemma erased entirely. It looks like the strangest call in the rulebook because it's solving a problem you'll never actually witness. The cheap double play that doesn't happen anymore, precisely because the rule exists. Number 4. The ground rule double. This one feels personal the first time it costs your team a run. Line drive into the gap, one big hop and it skips clean over the outfield wall. Should be a stand-up triple, maybe an inside-the-park run. Instead, the second that ball leaves the field of play, everything freezes. Batter gets second, every runner gets exactly 2 bases. That includes the guy on first, who looked like he was scoring standing up. The frustration makes sense emotionally and falls apart the second you ask one question: how do you actually know he scores? Maybe the right fielder reads the bounce perfectly and the throw beats him by 10 feet. Maybe the ball kicks sideways off the warning track and he barely makes third. The moment the ball leaves live play, you're not watching a result anymore. You're watching a hypothetical. And baseball has a hard rule against deciding outcomes off of hypotheticals. So instead of asking an umpire to referee an imaginary highlight reel in his head, the rulebook just locks in one outcome every single time. 2 bases, no exceptions, no guessing. You lose the occasional bonus run? What you get back is a rule that can't be argued with because it never asks anyone to predict the future. Number 5. The Balk. New fans hate this one because it looks like a penalty for nothing. The pitcher twitches mid-motion, the umpire points, and suddenly every runner on base advances 90 feet for what looked like an accident. Flip the camera to the runner and the whole thing makes sense. His entire job standing off first base is reading the pitcher's intentions in real time. Is this pitch going home, or is he about to spin and throw to first? That read is the only tool a runner has. Now imagine a pitcher allowed to start his delivery toward the plate and bail out of it at the last second purely to freeze the runner. Take that away and stealing dies completely because the runner can never trust what he's seeing. The Balk rule's entire job is forcing the pitcher to commit the instant he starts. Once the motion begins, it has to finish. No abort button, no fake out disguised as a real pitch. Every balk you've ever groaned at on a broadcast wasn't punishing what actually happened on the field. It was punishing the attempt to lie to a runner who has no other way to defend himself. Number 6. The dropped third strike. Last one, and it's the rule that genuinely breaks people the first time they see it. Batter swings to strike 3. Everyone in the stadium knows he's out, except the catcher doesn't squeeze the ball cleanly. It skips off the heel of his mitt, and now the batter is sprinting to first like the building's on fire. Every so often, he beats the throw and he's safe. The logic underneath this is older than almost anything else in the sport. An out isn't real until the defense actually finishes the play. The strikeout call alone doesn't complete anything. Same way a fielder has to actually secure a fly ball, not just get a glove near it. The catcher still has one job left after the swing: control the baseball. If he doesn't, nothing has technically happened yet, and the rule lets the batter take advantage of that gap as long as first base is open or there are already 2 outs. That's not a loophole. That's just the same standard applied to the catcher that gets applied to every other glove on the field. Finish the play or it doesn't count. So that's the pattern under all 6. Each one started as either a scheme someone found to break the game or a slow habit that was quietly ruining it to watch. The rule that looks dumb on a broadcast is never the actual problem. It's the patch still sitting there long after everyone forgot what it was patching. If I had to pick the one I still can't fully make peace with, it's the ghost runner. The math holds up, I just can't shake the feeling of a winning run scoring on a guy who teleported into scoring position. Thanks for sticking around for all 6. If this made the rulebook click a little more, drop a like and subscribe for more of these. And if you liked this one, check out our breakdown of every catcher role on an MLB roster, from the bullpen catcher nobody notices to the everyday starter behind the plate. Link right here.